I'm live, I guess. So yeah. So in the previous one where we are dealing with timers, right? This part of it, we're working with LM Manager, but I've done some research on it and seen that instead of timers, why not we directly use since we'll be using notification also, right? So directly use the notification part of it. So if you see, I've made some edit. So earlier on, click on this, right? We used to set up a one-shot ad, right? But now what we'll be doing is, in this callback, in the timer callback, the LM manager callback, we won't be using the notification inside it, but instead, if you see the on click, right, on pressed, and let me show you the. So directly, first is that if it's running, we'll cancel the alarm. But if you see, we'll run the alarm manager one shot, okay? The alarm manager, however it is, the callback will happen. But we'll also schedule a notification with the same time. So why we're using this approach instead of putting the schedule alarm inside the alarm callback is so. In the previous, I've seen that when it goes to the background, it does not get triggered. Like when I close the app, right, it's not triggered, but this local notification, right, the Flutter local notification, it does work in the background also. If even if I close the app, right, still the notification will get triggered. But this isolate, the Android alarm manager isolate, is not working. So now what we'll do is we'll call the alarm manager, no doubt in that, and that will have the callback. But after this, we'll also schedule an alarm. So let me take you through the how the schedule of notification is working. So let's go from start, okay? So let's go to the main. First is you need to install this package, right? Local notification. One second, let me. So first is this package. Let me take you like how I got into this. Okay. First is you need to install this local notification package, and you need to create an instance. It's not yet done fully. So this is one. In the global scope, we'll create an instance of Flutter notification plugin. Okay. So that it can be accessible from any part of the app. It's not dependent on any. So we don't have to pass from one widget to another, or we'll see that if we can make a provider and access it. But yeah, for now it's a global scope. Then we'll create one more stream controller for type of broadcast. We're using broadcast instead of just stream because if you add broadcast, you can add multiple listener to it. This we are following directly from local notification example. Okay, it creates a class of this where it passes the ID, title, body, and payload. This is for the notification, and this is the background. So when your notification comes, right? So let me click on this. If you click on this, one notification will be coming. So if you see, you get a notification like this, right? So when you click on this, right? When you click on this isolates work in place. When you click this isolate and it will print up this thing. For now, we don't have to think about this. Okay. Then in the main, we initialize the one second. So this here the Flutter notification plugin. This we have declared in the global scope. Right? We need to initialize it, and we need to pass this on it receive background response and on the response. This will mainly work with the action part of things. So even if you see what is written here, right? Call this method application before using the plugin further, and not the we don't want this. One second. So let me show you this one. Callback is fired when the user selects a notification. Notification actions should show the application user interface. So whenever there is a notification, right? Let me trigger one second. Amit, it's not a complex project as a beginner. If you went from the start, right, we are just progressing from one on top of another. If you see all the UIs are basic UIs. If you had followed from the first one, right, we are just progressing forward. Even in all the downloading cases also was done live only. And we aren't using anything exclusive. Whatever we are using is we are taking the example directly from whatever the example is given in pub.dev, right? We're just copy pasting it and trying to figure out things. Yeah, so what I'm saying is when I click on this, you get a notification, right? Wait for 5 seconds. You get this notification, and if we don't have any action button here, right? But if there were any, this should get triggered. So if you see, a callback is fired when the user selects a notification action that should show the application user interface. To handle when a notification launch an application, use get notification, not this. And there's also one more, this one. Background notification response callback invoked on a background isolate. This one. And if you see, we already have this isolate, right? That will be handled on the background. Okay. And this is the initialization part, and then there is nothing related to it. We have the app icon thing. So let me show you the app icon part of it. So when you initialize, right, in the notification you get an app icon, right? To make that visible, what you should do is we should first have an icon. That is one of the requirement. You should have an icon. So if you see, we have this icon here, right? We have all the icons here, and we need to put this in PubSpec assets. So we added it to the icon, and it should also be part of the rest of app. So if you go to the main resolution, right here, if you see drawable, right, we have the app icon. So it needs to be part of drawable also. Yes, I meant. So let me paste you. Let me give you one. So give me a second.
In this course,
one second.
in this course, we are going to learn to build apps for multiple.
You can use this. It's a long course, and I think it should be helpful. So we need to add the icons to the drawable also. Okay, so whatever the icon you use, you need to add it here also. So we have added it here. So if you see, it's app icon.png, right? Similarly, in the icon, we have the app icon.png. Okay. And since we are doing it only for Android, so we'll be just initializing the settings for Android only. Okay. So that is the initialization part of things, and that covers most of the things. Okay. Now in the views, what we are doing is we need to just schedule a notification. If you want to schedule a notification, just schedule you. And one more thing. So on the Android, in the build Gradle, you need to add some of the things. Okay. So first is on the Android manifest.xml. You need to add this. So this one, Flutter local notification. You need to add all of this. It's already there on the docs. It's already there on the docs, but yeah, you need to follow. You need to use all of this. If you don't use this, then it does not work. So we have just added this also. Okay. So these are the requirements of how this package can be used, and yeah. So let's see like what we can achieve today. First is let's try to clean up some of the things. So this is a plugin, right? So can we make this as a river pod provider so that we can use a multiple place? So what will be the problem is, if you see this one, we need to access in the main also, right? Here, how do you access this if you make this as an river pod provider? So leave that. So let's concentrate on the views. So we want to schedule a timer notification and based on the millisecond provided. Since on database we'll already be saving like when the timer should start, right? And we need to pass for the Android notification details. We need to pass the ID, the name, and description. This can be anything. I don't know what is the best approach to this. For now, we are just following whatever was on the docs. We haven't added anything new. And when you schedule a notification, right, you cannot directly pass the date time object that dot provides by default. You need to pass something called tj date time. This is also, it's a time zone aware date time. If you see, right, it's a date time, but it has the time zone part of it. So that is how we are adding the millisecond. So we get the now, and we get the millisecond from here. So we'll be passing the millisecond here. If you even see where we use it, right? So when we call this function, first is we trigger an alarm of one shot, right? Then we schedule this alarm from, since in the database we'll already save, right, when this alarm should get triggered and when we create the timer. So we'll put the hour, minute, and second of it here. Okay. And yeah, it's working, and let's do some cleanup and see if we understand how everything works. First is we need to know the title, right? So what the title can be, and so the title we can pass. Since this is not an background task, right? We can directly pass it here. So let's put string title. Okay. And here we'll just pick up this title from here. And we also need the ID, and this ID needs to be unique for each of the notification also. So what we can do, we can use the same thing that we use for the alarm manager. Okay. So if you see on the alarm manager, right, we use something for the unique ID. We'll use the same thing. We'll just generate a random integers and we'll just put it. So what we can do here, instead of this ID, we'll just generate a random integer here, okay? So that the ID will become a random integer every time it's scheduled. This is one. Then we need the body part of it. So the body can be like what do we at the border? In the timer we don't have any description of this, right? So we can just write timer for title. So at least it will make a little bit of sense from this. Then when you pass the time is from the tj time, we'll get this, right? Then other than this it works. Then Android notification details contains channel ID and all of this thing. So what is channel ID actually? Request for Android the channel's ID. This property is only applicable to any version. So we just need to pass. Channel description is not required, but name and channel ID is required. So channel ID we can make this as something like journal.app, something like this, right? And description, this is the ID, right? One second. id.journal.app, something like this. And for the channel name, we can just put journal.app, right? Something like this. So it works for us. And description we don't want, since this is not mandatory. What's the ticker? Ticker specify the ticker text which is sent to accessibility service. We don't want to add this also. And for the raw sound, we are using the slow springboard. So if you see, we need to add it in the sound. We have added this in the sound. If you see sound, we need to register this in the pubspec. Okay, if you go to the pubspec.yaml, in the asset you need to register it. Okay, and similarly for, you need to put this in the resolution also. If you go to main resource, right, here also you need to put under raw, you need to put both of them. Okay, this is also in the example of local notification, right? You already get this, so I've just copied it from there. Okay, then the schedule part is done. So one second, let's see. Where are we setting the schedule? This one, John schedule. And do you pass anything else? No, as of now. You pass the ID, title, body, schedule time, notification details. Then date time of things. Okay, that is what we already did. We do something like it brings up in the top right, so Flutter local notification plugin start. Show derivation, show don't schedule. No, it does not work. So we need to put this. So I wanted to be in like a complete full page notification, so that it blocks the whole page, like how we get in calendars, right? But it seems it will not work with schedule. So we can't pass that here. Prepare page to summary native brand as black means to pass the time. Okay. Should work. Except time even that device in low power. Okay. Okay, seems like we don't need that. And that should be it. So now we get the notification when you click, and let me bring up the emulator. So you click on this, the notification comes up. You don't get the sound of it, right? Okay, you get the sound also. Okay, the sound part is also working. And what more do we want? Let's restart the app one, so that now the title also should work, right? Let's restart it. Click on, let's create a timer. and while milk, and we should go after 10 seconds. Save it. Let's click on this. The title should be boiled milk. Okay, this time. Okay, no, there is an error, it seems. Okay, 1 second. So we need to pass the title in this, right? So in the title, what we'll pass is data index. Okay. Dot name. Okay, then this will get the title also. Okay. There is the page. Let's restart 1 second. Since this is a function above the build, right? It will not get built. So do this and click on boil milk. The title of the notification that will be coming, right? That should be boil milk, and the description should be timer for the title. Okay, we get that, and timer. Yeah, it's working for us now. So we get the notification, and this is also working. So I think that should be done for this timer part of things. But if you see, we have a request button here, right? We should not have the request button here, and instead when you initialize the app, right, the request should be asked directly on the init state itself. Okay, so what we can do, let's go to the top. If you see, we do ask for it, right? So if you go to the init state, instead of check alarm permission, 1 second. So it a request, right? Here, method to set a callback for when permission is granted. This one, right? So we can pass this on the init state itself. So if you create an init state here, okay, but we cannot use await on the init, right? Init needs to, can it be synced? It seems it can, right? We can even await also. Let's restart. And dismiss this, call the timer. It throws an error. It's most probably because of the await on the init, right? I think it does not like that we use await. If you see here, state init state must be void rather than async keyword, rather than awaiting on asynchronous directly inside init state. Call a separate method to do it. Okay. It seems like we should not do this, and so what we can do is, how we pass for the, if you see on main, right, we do check for notification for the alarm thing, right? We first initialize this, then don't we check for if the permission for alarm was asked or not. Check exec alarm permission. We do check right here. And permission schedule exec alarm. So here we cannot use exec alarm. No. So if the exact alarm is already given, right? So how does it handle that? Permission for scheduling except alarms. So if you do permission dot schedule exec alarm dot request, then it will request this, right? When so what does request do? Request is for access the permission if it has an ability. So it says request the user to this permission if access hasn't already been granted access before. So we can do something like first we'll check for this one permission. So we'll do permission dot schedule alarm dot status. Okay, but this is also a future, right? Check the current status of the given permission. So on this request, alarm permission status, set it here. What if we ask the permission directly on can do this here also, right? So we initialize the alarm manager here, right? So let me go to the alarm manager, initialize it here. What if we do this here and here we pass the value, right? Whatever the value comes here, and that we can just override using this value, right? So instead of on grant callback, we'll call on request exact alarm status. Okay, so something like this. Here we'll try to override it, right? So if you see, we have this, right, this notifier. We'll do this, then override. If you pass this, like the status, the argument permission can be assigned to the permission state. Yes. What can we do? We can't override. How do you change the value directly on the overrides itself? Overrides a provider with a value, ejecting the default behavior. This will also disable the autoscape, meaning the override specified dependency will have no effect. Why can't we use this? The getter override to value is defined for the state provider. Like defines so for state we can't do this. For state references we are able to do this. Why is that? It's now provider scope and so let's see on Chrome. Let's bring up Chrome. Set the default state of provider in main. Flutter. Initialize default value. Not here. We want to initialize in the main itself, right? So all properties in initial, but this means the property is only initialized in unfortunately there is no way to flag the providers need to be equally initialized with the provider. One solution happens to proceed with the provider you want to equally initialize in the recommendation interesting watch a provider and consumer place right under the provider scope. So it says you need to watch it or else there is no way. the main, we can get the status directly, right? So whenever you initialize, when the app is running, it will first ask for so if you don't do it in the main, but will in home page. Okay, so how we do first Android permission, right, to check if the notification are enabled. Why do we even do this? Recent attention permission granted. Visual permission perspective notification enabled. Returns whether the app can post notification. Granted. We put it here. Then to request permission. Then send an platform specific. Okay. Request the permission for sending notification. Returns whether so if you do this and you get the permission for sending notification, returns whether the permission was granted. So in the same place, we don't need this set state actually. So we need to create in the timer. If you go to the providers of timers, we need to create two more state. This one, exact alarm, and also notifications. The notification. Let's create a state provider and notification status. Type. What is the type of it? True and false. It returns boolean, right? Okay. True and false. So boolean. And by default it will be false. And the request permission. One is this and the other one can be something like this. 1 second. Both the alarm and this thing can be asked directly here itself, right? So this will ask for the schedule alarm and this will ask for the notification. And we can set both of them here itself. So we can do ref dot read dot notifier dot state this is granted notification permission, right? So when you request, it's not a boolean type, it can also be null, right? Why can it be null? Okay, this is one, and let's see if in the permission we can. Request. Okay. And you will get permission status. So we can put both of them as permission status. By default, it's both of them will be denied. Okay. And here we can pass this here. Put an await. And similarly for this, we can do web.read exec alarm permission status dot notify dot state equals exec alarm status. Okay, first we'll ask for notification, then we'll ask for the. So we don't need any of this actually. Request permission. So request the user for access to the permission if it has an access been granted access before. So if you do request and we will get request this permission denied. So now in the main, if we get this, we don't need to this from here and take the request permission. Remove this also. Okay, so we get the permission here and we don't need this in any state. Then the schedule alarm also. Can do one more thing is so before requesting permission pick permissions. Okay, and something like this, and instead of request you can just say status of it, right? Status This one here. To request permissions. But in the request permission, we'll pass both of this permission. Okay. Notification granted and alarm granted. Okay. If it's not, then only call this. And if not of alarm granted, okay. If it's not granted, then request for permission and set this. By default, let's make this permission status. Granted. Okay. Similarly for this. And set this, and we'll set up this. Okay, what this will do, this will check and it will set the permission. That is fine. So then the views, what we can do is, now we don't need to check this because we'll already have this. Okay. So with Unite, we'll already ask for this, right? So we don't even need this request anymore. Put this const here. So now if you run this, let's reload the page. It is failing now. It's returned a future. Very sorry, state is returning a future. Reload the page once again. Let's reload it once again. Okay, now go to timer, click on boil milk, wait for 10 seconds. Yeah, we get the notification and it is working as expected. Okay, so this is working. We haven't still handle the brackets block of it. Now we can remove the show notifications from the home page, right? This elevated button can be removed now. Yeah. The timers are working and should get us working. The zip code is also working. Yeah, most of the things are working now as expected. The things that we wanted to do. One problem. So when you click on this, if you see this one, right, this is not working correctly. The last button is not working correctly. The step time timer, right? Why is it not? Is because this list style is not working correctly, so it gets stuck in the UI when we click on expanded view. So let me try one thing. So if I put this at top, okay, so it seems the problem is with everything. So the list style are not working correctly. Hi, I'm fine. How are you? So the problem with this UI is like if there's an expansion panel above list style, when I expand it, the UI is janky, right? Like the border stays in the top, the other text is coming below. Right. Thanks if you're learning. So we don't want this, right? The border and the text should appear here, right? So is it because of animated container or the text panel? I feel like you were there when we were learning about Telegram, right? And the Python also, the Python series. Yeah, I'm from India. let's see on list style. The problem is on list style. So type selected over splash color, tiny color. There is no animation here, right? I don't get it. Like, why is it so janky here? Like, why does the border not come up with the text? Let's see what happens. I did not get what you're asking. So let's see on the depth tools, what do we get? Okay. See, there's a junk, right? You see the red color. Red colors are not good, okay? So other way it works fine. But when I try to do expansion and this, right? That is where the junk comes up. So Flutter is like how you build a mobile application. It's a cross-platform, not only mobile. You can build for any operating systems, and you can build for web also. And yeah, I'm not that good in Flutter. I'm just learning. I know a little bit of stuff, but not any. Just you can say between intermediate and beginner. I haven't reached the intermediate because there are many things I don't yet understand. Yeah, thanks for joining. do you fix this? I don't think this is because if it's a column or anything, right? So I do column, put this under single cell scroll view. Interesting. On column you don't get that junk, but on list view I do get that. See, now there is no that janky thing, right? So if you see the jankiness more happens on this expansion panel. So when you open, right, most of the jankiness happen here because I think it's because we are changing the border side of it, right, from 32 to 100. But now we don't get this on the list style because we change it from after we change it from list style to column view, right? It started working. Interesting. That's good for us. So at least one problem is solved. Let's remove this. So this part of the app is working and it's fine for us. The timer is working. This is working. Now we have to set up the user authentication. I think that we can do in the next class. It's already been announced. So in tomorrow's live, we'll go through authentication. We'll go from start to end. So that should be an interesting part. And after we do the authentication, then the other remaining things will be how do we get access to all the things in one place, right? And So yeah, I think for today this should be enough. We've set up the notification part of it. Though most of the things within the last video only. Today it was mostly of doing some things, and yeah. And tomorrow's we'll go through the authentication using Firebase. We'll use the email. We'll not use the Google things because for now we want to go with the email only. So let's see if we can get that, and that should be it for today. Thank you for watching. See you in the next. Sorry.